This is the new Cadillac Optiq, or General Motors electric car. Yes, it's going to be built in the US and China. Pricing, well, we don't know the pricing in the US yet, but we know what it is in China. Cadillac have already reduced the prices, even though they only just revealed the vehicle. They've already made a discount to the prices, which seems a bit crazy. But anyhow, the price will start from around $52,000 in China. What is the price in America? We have no idea what that will be just yet. Cadillac have just revealed their new electric Tesla Model Y competitor. Now you're probably thinking, oh, this is just someone trying to compare the Model Y versus another EV, but actually it's not, because it's very similar to the Tesla Model Y. In fact, dimensions are almost identical, aside from the fact that the new Cadillac EV is just 2 inches longer. The width, the height are almost exactly the same. However, the interior space of the Model Y is almost exactly on par with this EV from Cadillac. It's really quite interesting, because I think people should consider this when they're shopping for an EV. If they're looking at a Model Y, have a look at this too. Could be a little while before you can buy one though, and I'll explain why that is. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Sam Evans, coming to you from Australia. And I've spent a fair bit of time in China. This EV is being made in China. It's revealed for China. It will be on sale in China. However, worth pointing out here, Cadillac did the same thing with their last electric car, the Electra. Now that is coming to the US. So I think it's very likely Cadillac will do the exact same thing with this EV as well. There's more than enough factories in China that are very capable of building electric cars. Very, very likely that's what will happen, but probably could be a better plan to do it in a different way so you can avoid the IRA penalty. So you get the $7,500 tax credit. But either way, it doesn't really matter, because realistically, you probably still save more than that by building it in China. So what else do we know about this electric car, aside from the fact that it's very similar in size to a Tesla Model Y? Well, Cadillac's first all-electric compact crossover, which is kind of similar to a Lyriq EV, in fact, has been leaked, and it is being built by the SAIC, or the SAIC General Motors joint venture. In other words, the Chinese government, in conjunction with General Motors, will build this electric car. SAIC is China, government, basically, government owned. Now, these are the first photos we've seen of this vehicle, and I've got to say, I think it looks really good. I think it doesn't look amazing, but it's not bad. But what do you think of the looks? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Leaked images show the Optiq will introduce its own interpretation of Cadillac's new design language, featuring similar styling cues to those of the Lyriq, but with unique elements that set it apart from its big brother. In this sense, the Optiq has a very sculpted frontal design that includes a smaller grille, module, and large boomerang-shaped full LED headlights that give it its own personality. Now, if you're wondering what a boomerang is, well, indigenous people from Australia, they use these sort of things shaped like that, a piece of wood basically, and you could throw it and it would spin in a weird way, and then it would hopefully hit something and kill it. If it didn't hit it, it would actually, because of the weird shape, it would spin in that direction. It would spin back to you so you could catch it again in your hand. It's quite an interesting concept and an interesting weapon that they came up with. I've tried many times to throw a boomerang. Never really worked out how to throw it and get it to come back to me very well though. Anyway, what do we know about these specifications? Well, first I should mention, yes, I know you're probably saying the Electra is not a Cadillac, it's a Buick. Yeah, same thing, right? No one cares. Buick Electra, Cadillac Electra, General Motors Electra, it's all the same company. It doesn't make any difference. That's my opinion. Anyway, now, it will use the same platform as the Buick Electra. So that gives you a pretty good idea that it's basically just a GM electric car. The same platform is called the BEV3 platform, and it shows the Optiq will use a rear Ultium drive motor with 2 different power outputs. So it's rear wheel driven, 150 kilowatt, that's 201 horsepower. Or if you pay a bit more, you get a more powerful motor, which has 180 kilowatt, which is 241 horsepower. Eventually they'll have an all-wheel drive version as well, dual motor version as well, but we just don't have any specifications on that yet. The Cadillac will make its world debut in the second half of this year, probably in China, where the introduction of the luxury brand's second Ultium-based model has already been anticipated by General Motors to happen before the end of 2023. The Optiq is expected to be manufactured both in China and in North America. Well, it will expand Cadillac's growing range of electric vehicles. Now, the point here is, yeah, it'll be made in China first, North America at some undisclosed point in time. Got no idea when, but hey, it is good that they're going to make them in the United States. Could they get some of these parts from China, shipped to the US, and then reassemble them in America, and the vehicle still qualify for the IRA incentives? That was what I was sort of trying to point out before earlier in the video. Yes, they could. They probably will. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of parts in your General Motors electric car or in your General Motors vehicle are actually made by Hyundai Grobus. So not made in the US. And that's why when you see the list of the top 10 most American-made cars, not EVs, just cars, period, Tesla generally ranks 1, 2, 3, and 4, or maybe they'll lose a spot here or there, but basically the most American-made cars are Teslas. They're not GM vehicles or Ford vehicles. So all the patriotism around General Motors and Ford doesn't really make that much sense. That's my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of this car? I quite like it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.